Hi, this is Patrick. We're going to show you a short video today of how to install RMX on a rental air compressor. This is your RMX board. This will be your inlet air temperature probe. And this is our signal antenna.
Basically, we're gonna come mount it like right over here and then run our wires. So, no big deal.
Alright, we have our RMX board mounted in the electrical box. We have our remote antenna mounted on the door. You see what that looks like?
Yep.
We have our ambient temperature probe mounted inside. You want this in path of your inlet air because it gives you a good reading of if it's too hot or too cold in the area that the compressor's at. One thing to remember when mounting this, it kind of has a short wire attached to it. You want to go ahead and attach a extension wire onto it before you mount it because it's kind of hard to get to it after you mount.
You use butt connectors or?
I use, butt connectors.
Okay.
And I'll typically heat shrink over top of that just for a little bit of added protection.
Gotcha. So essentially crimped on. Good deal.
Another thing to consider when mounting your board is your wire for your antenna isn't real long either, so you want to make sure it's not too far away so that you can connect that. Your antenna and your probe both need an 11/16 hole to be drilled to mount. I recommend a step bit. My preferred, I think it's a number 4. It's actually a 7/8 bit. That gives me one more step above. That way it can kind of deburr the holes as I'm drilling them. Just keeps everything a little bit cleaner. And the step bit, nice uniform hole, just gets the job done real quick. So our antenna, it will wire into your board. It goes to the second and third inputs from the left. So this one and that one. Not specific. Just one goes into one goes into the other. Your temperature probe will come down to your AN2 and 5 volt here. Those also are non-specific, just one and one into the other.
Come.
Now we will wire up our power as well as our controller, and we'll get back to you on where those go. Alright, we're back. We've got our power connected. We have our controller connected. Now for the power, you're going to need 110 volts. For that, you'll have to find a wiring schematic. Luckily, ours is right here on the door. So we'll trace that down from the transformer to our 110. You'll want to be after your fuse, but before your e-stop. That way, if for any reason somebody hits that e-stop, you're not going to lose communication. For ours, it looks like our line power will be wire 1 and our neutral wire 10. And for that, we'll come over here and our wire 1 and our wire 10.
Yep.
So we'll run our line wire from 1 up and land on our power supply. Neutral from 10, the same thing. Ground, I just took a wire and grounded to the chassis. And then for our controller wire, with this controller, it actually uses an Ethernet jack and plugs in. Yours might be a little bit different. And then a ground that just grounds to the controller itself. Ran it over. And then our controller actually comes into here for our D plus and D minus. On this one, the green wire is D minus, black wire is D plus. And then I ran the ground along with our power ground to the chassis.